Non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, on anthem we sing. Zero holders, on anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots who live in the dream. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Man, oh man, I can't even tell you. Man, geez, I can't tell you how excited I am to get the market over with. Like, to get this market over with and start talking about aliens this morning. I can't wait. Guys, we have Henry the Grape with us. I'm not kidding you, Henry. The shit that I got today is probably the best we've gotten to date. Guys, I got Henry over on Spaces. Instead of joining the show and just being on audio like normal, just made sense since we're doing Spaces. Let's try over there. Let's see how this goes. So, good morning, Henry. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Also, like, it would be great if this makes, like, my connection better. Because, like, on Saturdays, you know, it's terrible.
I bet it does, because, like, X has its own, like, stuff that does noise canceling. You know what? I think it does, at least. I bet it's better. I bet it's better.
Plus, I'm not streaming video on my drive when I go, like, in and out of reception. So, yeah, let me know how it is so I know if there's, like, if the normal dead spots are as dead on X as they are on StreamYard.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. Good morning, Gravity. Good morning, Edge, Cosmos. And a heads up, guys, to our regulars. Gravity, I haven't seen you in a minute. I know you're traveling. Just a reminder, it is Spaces too. So if you want to hop on stage with Henry, join the conversation today, great. Casual show like always. Risiak, good morning. We'll touch on the market. The conversation goes where it wants to go today. I really do want to get to the alien stuff. I think some of the stuff today is it'd probably blow you away. It did me. And it's a lot of stuff we've kind of heard before, but have you ever seen, Henry, I don't know if you fuck around on 4chan much, but every so often you get people who post and they try that, you know, you never know if they're LARPing or if they're actually somebody who's really deep inside and they're just like dropping stuff anonymously. Man, oh man, there's one from a couple, probably even years back that was brought back to the surface and you read it and I'm like, wow, this actually sounds really real. It's like really in depth and it makes sense and it matches up all the other stuff we've heard. It's wild.
Yeah. So no, I don't go on 4chan much, like occasionally, but it's usually if you bring something up and then I'm like, oh man, I should go to 4chan. And then I think, oh, I should go on 4chan regularly. And I don't. Plus 4chan's like a whole other ecosystem that has its own, like, I don't want to say rules of engagement, but it's, yeah. I don't fully understand the 4chan ecosystem like you do.
Well, the best part now is you don't have to. It's been garbage there it's always been trash, but it's actually content-wise, probably the past 2 to 3 years has really gone downhill. As in, you don't get, like, good breaking stuff there. Something changed.
Did everybody migrate to X?
Yes, that happened, but even before that, there was something that happened. Something changed where, like, the OG, the old guard left because they just felt things were changing. I don't know if they migrated somewhere else or if it just, has spread out. It's definitely X now. X has got all the breaking news, like the eating cats and dog shit and the on the ground stuff that would normally have happened over on 4chan. It's happening on X now, so you don't even need 4chan anymore at all, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear about it, though.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I'll probably, it's really long, too, so I'll probably get through market stuff quick enough. Of course, guys, if you do want to chat, any topic goes. So if we get to alien stuff and you do want to talk NFTs, crypto stuff, obviously, fair game. All right, looking at the market real quick here. Actually, I'm really surprised. Bitcoin holding up well after crossing 60K yesterday. kind of flat, basically at the same level at this point. Bitcoin at 59,800. Again, awesome to see that. ETH at 2,400. Solana at 136. We're up around 2%, I'd say, almost across the board here. So a nice green 24 hours. Certainly enjoying that. Yesterday was a huge day for ETF volume, specifically on the Bitcoin side. The iBit Bitcoin ETF, 1.1 billion in trading volume yesterday. Crazy volume. That might be a high. If it's not, let me think here. There were certain days where we saw over 1 billion in volume across all the ETFs, but in one ETF doing 1 billion, that could be a record day. We'll probably find that out probably closer to Monday. Interesting little observation, but some of these ETFs, these funds, haven't been selling any of their Bitcoin at all. Just buying. Love to see it. Love the conviction. The Bitcoin ETFs on Friday, though, 263 million in inflows, so a really great day. That is one of our better days. I'd say a top 15 or so. Maybe top 20, but it was definitely one of the better days, and we definitely needed that. And then on the ETH side, 1.5 million in inflows. Only our second day of inflows in 2-ish weeks. Had been brutal. Looking a little better now.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude, imagine in like a raging bull what those ETFs will look like.
Oh man, do those people FOMO the same way people on chain do? Probably.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yep.
It'd be hard to imagine they don't.
Yeah, for real. I got some thoughts too on like the market and NFTs. I'll hit the macro stuff and then we'll touch on that. But I was just thinking of Azuki and Bored Apes and Forgotten Runiverse and Doodles. Anybody who's coming with news now, and yeah, I got some thoughts. I'll hit that in a sec. Volume yesterday up. It's been not a great week in general. Only a couple days above 10 million in sales volume, but yesterday 11.7 million in cross-chain sales. Unique sellers down, unique buyers up. Trade profits about what we've been expecting in the negative, 781,000. I don't think I'm going to go any deeper into the market. I don't think it matters right now. I will say a couple new collections minted in the past 24, 48 hours and are doing well on secondary. A collection called Dead Utes, who, Anthony, shout out for putting that on my radar. But Dead Utes on Solana minted out, did almost 250,000 in volume on secondary. The day before was a collection called Elite that I see a lot of Kongs actually talking about too. But Elite on Solana also minted out.
Oh, yeah.
Great volume on secondary. They got some Taproot Witches whitelist. I think those are the tweets I saw, but I definitely noticed their sales. So pretty cool to see. And top sale in the past 24 hours, it's CryptoPunk 4829 selling for 87 grand. Not bad at all.
Taproot Witches is that Wednesday?
I actually didn't know the date. I don't know the date at all, but it sounds soon. I didn't know date or price on them. So.
Okay, I don't know price. For some reason, I thought it was the 18th, but
probably not wrong.
I could be confusing that with something else.
Yeah, it's got to be soon. It's got to be soon. Dude, those are gonna cook. I'm really glad I got a whitelist. I'm trying to find places giving whitelist to get another. That's like you want to stack those. Those are gonna absolutely cook. Probably the hottest mint of the fall so far, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yep. Yeah, I can't think of the last I'm trying to think of the last really hyped ordinals mint. I feel like the last hyped one, and it's not coming to mind right now, was a bit of a fail. And it was just like a couple weeks ago, I think. Oh, I guess it would have been FSIC, right? I don't want to say it was a fail, but it was hyped. I think did that 2x eventually, and then it came back below. So maybe fail is not the right word, but I'm talking like something that climbs over like 0.01.
Yeah. Hang on real quick. I got to send a little message somewhere. Sorry. Hang on.
No, you're good. While you're doing that, there's a collection out there that's not really well known, but it's a Kong who started it a while back, like well over a year ago, called Ordinookies. They got a good Discord. Control Ross is the founder. He's like really well connected in the ordinal space. And pretty sure they got Taproot Witches. Like they get honestly a ton of the hyped mints. I remember that being like 0.0009, maybe even lower than that. I checked it the other day. It's like 0.003. I just have a feeling about that collection. They got a really good community. A lot of like OG, ordinal, not necessarily like cabal people, but like hardcore ordinal guys in there. But definitely a collection worth checking out because they're cheap. I feel like that has an easy like 3-4x in it.
Yeah, dude. What's interesting that it's like some of the ones that are minting that we were just peeking at, like those Solana collections. For me, they felt like they came out of nowhere, and to see those do well, and then know there's some actual like pretty good hyped ones on the horizon, like definitely looking to see what kind of like what's their potential, what can they do, like a big like are we back sign or like signal to be watching for. Like if these things cook, I just don't know.
How's that dev shitcoin doing?
I have it up on the screen right now. That's not great, but also, man, I think I'm going to add more. I really do. I think there's something to this thing. So
where's market cap?
13 mil.
Okay. All right. So about close to where I bought it.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I added at the bottom here because I think it got to like 11 mil or so. The thesis is the same. It's kook. It's chart foo. That's literally all you need. But the fact that I think they're actually doing something with the token in the Solana ecosystem, like the fact that they're probably going to do something. I don't think chart foo's just going to release. You know, it's one thing to just pump a token. It's another for it to be your token. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think people are.
Agreed.
I think people are making a mistake fading this one. Not financial advice. Kook tweeted this morning. I don't know how much obvious. Oh, excuse me. I don't know how much more obvious a meme trade can be. Breakpoint is next week. Connect the dots, bro. Connect the dots. And it's a post about Dev. That's it. It's an image about Dev. Breakpoint's coming up. Freaking chart foo and kook. This is. I swear, dude. I think it's gonna be. 50 makes sense. A $50 million market cap seems easy, like programmed in, but I won't be shocked just because the people, if they do something with this and they bake it into Solana, 100, 150, if we really pick up steam. It needs the whole like macro stuff to pick up too, but this has got stupid potential for a token at 12, 13 mil. Confusion, thumbs up if you're looking.
Too. He's not the kind of guy who just like releases random stuff either.
He's never dropped a token.
Financial advice.
He's never, right?
Yeah. I think he's got to be careful. He works for Magic Eden. Like, you know, I think he has to be careful about what he does and what he associates with. So
yeah, I
don't buy in expecting anything out of it. But like, if you're gonna take a chance on something, it doesn't seem crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think he doesn't work there anymore, like as Magic Eden employee, right? Advisor now.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so maybe that's why he was able to do this.
Exactly right. Yeah. I have a feeling too. Okay, it's just totally guessing, like having fun playing. He's an advisor for the Magic Eden Foundation, so he can like bull post about the Magic Eden token. I wonder if he could make this token like integrate this into whatever's happening there too. Like they're definitely hinting that there's more to it. Like I don't want to say utility, but they, Kook came out and was definitely posting about it's not PvP, it's PPP, and I don't remember what that stands for, but like safer ways to trade where you're not affecting the price and yeah, it's just like it feels different. It feels very different. So I'm not only am I not selling, but I've been adding more, and I'm probably gonna do that again today. I'll say this: I'm gonna look as down as runes are, and dog and all that stuff. I haven't peeked this morning, but I'm tempted to sell a big stack of dog and put it into dev. Like I actually feel that strong. I feel strongly enough about it that I think I got a 10x in there. Way easier than I have a 10x in dog.
No, that's fair. Dog's been, in the 240 mil market cap, give or take?
Yep. Right about there right now, 234, so exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, at least if there is a 10x in dog, it's probably not going to happen as quick as, a shitcoin on Solana, potentially.
Right. And again, with Breakpoint coming up, kind of thinking things are going to cook. I might hit some bullet points here, by the way, but then I want that alien shit's too spicy. So
is Breakpoint that new protocol where it's like NFTs as shitcoins?
No, Breakpoint's the big old Solana conference, like that. All those same influencers we were talking about, yesterday. They're all there, and they'll be pumping that. Like it's gonna cook. Cook.
Is that in Singapore or where are they doing that?
Shoot. Yeah, I think it is. I might be wrong, but I think it is. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, dude. It's gonna be awesome. I'd like a bag of soul or something too. Anyway, I don't want to get deep on this one. This is probably better for a weekday show. But not Solana. Ronan's been teasing something called Waypoint. You know anything about that?
No.
Okay. So G-Host tweeted about this too. I've seen others, but Ronin Waypoint, One Account, Infinite Adventures, buy and upgrade NFTs in game, perform on-chain check-ins, perform on-chain transactions from your cold wallet account without risking your assets. Okay, yeah, connecting multiple wallets to one identity. Okay, all right, sounds neat. Again, there's probably better deep dive. Shit, I should get G-Host on the show.
You know what? I'll ask Al. I bet Al knows.
That'd be cool. Dude, I'd love to get Owl on a show sometime too, but yeah, I'm gonna poke G-Host, see if he'd come on like Chain Reactor or something too. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Dude, I have said something here. Okay, I have said this for a long time. A very specific game I was looking forward to, like coming out in the blockchain space. And if it wasn't them, just a similar game. Dude, I've said from almost our first few days in the space, holy shit, imagine EVE Online coming to the blockchain, or somebody building an EVE Online type of game. Like this huge economy, crazy expensive assets, ships, big thoughtful battles, and again, economies and jobs and trades, and a legit economy. And we had looked at years ago these battles that would take place online in EVE Online that would cost players millions of dollars, like in damage. Like your assets are destroyed in this game. So I also heard a while back that EVE Online was actually doing a blockchain game, which is awesome. It's coming out. It's actually, I think, coming out next week. I got their white paper. I got their trailer. Dude, I swear to God. By the way, I don't think this will cook. It's too complicated. So it's two things. They're actually fucked with this one. It's complicated, and I want to see how. I got to get in through the white paper or light paper. Crypto people do not want to spend that kind of time in a game. Crypto people are not that thoughtful or that deep with what they want to do, how they want to make their money, right? They're just not. And the flip side is gamers hate this shit. They've almost alienated themselves. Like neither side really I can picture wanting to play this thing. It's going to be a very small subset of people who actually would fuck with this, but I think it could be really beneficial if you do. I got to get through the white paper, but it's really, dude, I'm really excited about this.
Did you ever read about the guy that like socially engineered one of like the major players in EVE Online and stole his ship that was worth? I think his ship was worth like between $500,000 to $1 million.
That's amazing.
And he worked on it for 2 years, I think, where he became friends with the sole intention of taking this guy's ship. Yeah, he became friends with him, and he got like really friendly, worked from like the bottom up, and they would like casually like I think lend each other ships like once they got like comfortable with each other, and worked it up to the point where the guy kind of like casually lent him this for like a mission, and the guy just stole it.
Oh man,
it's
that is so
you
cool.
should read about it. It's hilarious. It's like real assets, which the same thing could happen on the blockchain. Yep. You know, somebody transfers it to you. But no, I knew nothing about EVE Online until you brought it up to me years ago. So it became like interesting to me because I knew nothing about it. And I was like, oh yeah, there are these like gaming economies with assets in the 6-7 figures. It's pretty crazy.
The cool thing is something like this, even though I say gamers aren't going to want to touch it because crypto people won't touch it because it's too deep, it can be a self-sustaining thing. It's like, you know, if enough people with enough money are okay with how things are priced, these things can last forever. And the beauty of on-chain is that it definitely could. I'll give a quick rundown of it. I could play the trailer too. It's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. We could peek at it. But EVE Online devs are making a crypto game you can play in 2 weeks. One of the more hardcore MMOs with stakes so high the battles can sometimes cost more than $300K and involve thousands of players. I mean, wrong there. Over 1 million was lost in a battle. Back in like 2021, it made like national news. Like it made news.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything teased. The game is space survival MMO. I wonder if it's got like a graphical like interface. EVE Online was like it was a little more static. It's like you more played it. Not on spreadsheets, but kind of closer to that, right? That was the gameplay. It was more of a, like, it's hard to describe, like a simulator. It was a little more hands-off, and you kind of, you know, maneuvering through the ecosystem kind of behind the scenes and through chat. And you know what I mean? It's not a perfect way to describe it, but it wasn't a game like most people picture. You're not, like, necessarily hand on a controller and flying a ship around. And it might have evolved to that, though. Anyway, here's...
Is it their own chain?
Can you say that again?
Is it their own chain?
I don't know.
Their own blockchain?
It's a good. No, you know what? I think I saw Optimism.
Oh,
I think I
okay.
saw Optimism. I'll peek and see. But the game: travel through space, extract resources, fight for prestige or survival. Energy, the primary resource that the economy will be built around. Finite resources with uneven distribution, constant conflict. Large crafted items will be tradable on any blockchain marketplace. Nice. Player choices drive the evolution of the world, economy, and politics. Oh, this is exactly what I wanted, man. There's a key focus on letting players and developers build apps, craft systems, unique turrets, etc., that over time may become part of the core game. Think of it as code that interacts with specific instructions within the game. Eventually, the devs become just one of many builders in this world. Dude, this is magic. Currencies. Eve is a crypto. Governance and trade of items outside the game's marketplace. And then Lux. It's a virtual, so an off-chain token trade inside of the games. Players can create their own. This is incredible. Players can create their own currencies. Carve out a corner of space you want to run with your tribe with a sub-economy inside the game defined by your own rules. This is incredible. Sounds ambitious. Agree.
That's interesting.
Right? You could probably tack banana into this. You know what I mean? Like, you literally can just attach yourself into the framework and build out your little... And look, somebody wants to attack you, take their fleet and attack you and try to steal all your banana and your assets, they can. This game, that's literally what happens in it. You have pirates, you have politicians, you have just worker bees. Like, it's an incredible game. Incredible. Andrew Campbell, I love Andrew Campbell. EVE Online is 10 times harder than any blockchain game we have now. Yep. Not just in depth of understanding, but also in mechanics and piloting. He's saying the steep learning curve is right. It's going to be, man, really far. It's going to be really, really hard. I'll peek at the white paper. Again, this might be way too, it's going to be too in-depth for this, for sure. Oh, God, yeah, we can't do this. This is a book, I'm sure. Oh, but it's magic, dude. I actually see man, I don't know if it's just the aesthetic or what, but I could picture Parallel, like that Parallel card game, somehow having something to do in this, or somebody spinning off a card game based on. So there's just a lot you could do with a game like this, where it's kind of like an infrastructure, and it's like go build out little sub games in here, kind of. This is gonna be amazing.
No, that actually sounds like actually interesting.
It almost reminds me of like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of closer to that than a traditional game. Dude, I wonder if you'd be interested enough to like learn this, if it's something we could try playing, and then like.
I was just thinking that. I was like, just because I've been fascinated with EVE Online, not to the degree where like I'm sitting there, reading about it or watching YouTube videos about it every day. But it's an ecosystem that's super interesting to me. I could have interest in that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we should dig in. I'm gonna try playing the trailer. So I have a couple questions. Mostly, okay. Just throw a thumbs down or chime in if you get echo. Right, our echo problem when you're in the show. I wonder if that's gone with how you connected to spaces. So I'm gonna play the trailer. I don't know if we go through the whole minute and 47 seconds, but if there's echo, just like scream over it and tell me to turn it off.
Okay.
And actually curious if you hear it. Do you hear it right now?
I hear it.
Okay. There's a ship that just like firing a beam into a planet. This is probably not great for spaces, like nobody can see, but
No.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? We'll kill this. I don't think we're gonna learn much from it. Just like a really great cinematic. Eve Frontier. Oh my god, dude, this gives me like the shivers. I like space games. I like Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, and I've always just loved those kind of games. And this is that, but like it's the crypto side that's so appealing. Like they already got these economies. Put it on chain, let people go wild with it. Yeah, wild. English, do I have unbanned permissions? I don't know if I do, man. Hang on. English got banned, or his account can't get in his account. Hang on. English.
On what?
Hang on. I think in oh, not me. Okay, okay, cool. In Discord. Oh, he's talking Taproot Wizards. Okay. All right. Hope that gets squared away, man. What'd you do? What the fuck did you do, English?
Wait, English's Discord got banned?
Or blocked or suspended? I'm not exactly sure, but he's having trouble with his account. I know that. Yeah, let me know if I can help. I did drop a message in our chat, but nobody's around. Anyway, okay. Okay, that's Eve on Eve Frontiers. I'm gonna dig into that like crazy, so we'll leave it behind for now. Let's do aliens. Well, okay, no. Quick chat about NFTs before we do aliens. By the way, guys, feel free to come up and chat if you want. Okay, my thought about NFTs. So again, the Azuki news, anime.com, whatever. The Doodles stuff, the premiere of their video, their animation, which is on Doodles TV now, so if you got the pass, you can watch it. I was going to stream it. I'm like, it's shitty. Like, they want people to buy the pass. I'm not going to stream it. Bored Apes, all kinds of news. Forgotten Runeverse. You guys, like, all the other big projects dropping news. Imagine if all this news was dropping in an actual, like, hyped part of the cycle. Hyped. And, like, what it normally does to prices. What if it drags on so long as far as the market not really cooking that all the big guys have blown their load? We get to the cycle and all the big guys have no big news to drop at that point. Does it matter? Should they have waited a little longer? And, like, what do you think about that? Like, have they all blown their load?
Yes and no. Yeah, I think it's interesting because we talked about this with like Doodles, and I think it kind of goes across the board. Like you make an announcement. I feel like for the most part, building within an ecosystem doesn't have nearly the same effect on price action. I feel like everybody knows that though, because the speculation's over. So like, the price action typically happens before because people are speculating. And then once they know what it is, then it's usually a little bit anticlimactic. So like Izuki, I don't know, did they have, I guess I would have assumed they would have had positive price movement, but my guess would be, I haven't looked at their chart, that it's probably like 5%.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm kind of curious.
Dude, down in the past 24 hours, down almost 5%. It is funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, real building doesn't move the needle anymore, which is actually really good. It's actually really good. People, those expectations are getting reset. Unless it's benefiting people.
Needed.
Yeah.
No, it was needed. And like, so like, we've talked on, I can only speak on the Kongs end, but it's like things that things we've been working on, things that we are working on. When I say there's no rush, there's certain things that like we want to be able to execute on, upgrades to play and collect, etc. But like, we also know that anything we do when it comes to partnerships and things like that, they don't make a difference, as far as price goes. So nothing feels like it needs to be rushed at this point. I guess that's my overarching thought, is like, there is no rush. I think what projects have to do is figure out a way to build the community organically. And I don't think you build organically with speculation, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah. Oh, man. Spot on. It's probably bullish just bringing energy to the space and bringing eyes to the space. It probably is bullish for new mints, like totally unrelated new mints, but just the fact that those will get eyes from people probably outside of Web3. Like, that's the whole point of it, I think. So whatever Pudgy Penguins do and Azuki and Doodles, if anything, it's just great advertisement for just the Web3 community, this space, and maybe it just helps newer stuff, smaller projects, whatever.
I think it does, yeah. Like, I don't think Apple waits for their stock to be priced at a certain, price, or the Dow to hit a certain level before they say we're going to release the iPhone 16. I think they're just like, all right, we're rolling it out in September of 24, and like, regardless of the market condition, that's our product release. So, I think it's good though. I think it's good to see projects continuing to build.
Dude, weird. English. I see other people on X right now tweeting that their Discords are like locked down. What the fuck happened?
What's happening?
So, Haiku. I don't know this person, but he tweeted, "Basis dropped a nuke on itself. This is a huge escalation. that's impacting thousands of highly engaged crypto users, CTOs, CEOs. Discord needs to reverse this immediately. Jesse Pollock, fire your Discord team immediately. What is this? So he tweeted a screenshot. Your account is very limited. You can't use parts of Discord. A server you joined broke. Oh, a server you joined broke Discord's rules for harassment and bullying. Wow. So if you were in a server and maybe on a team or something, I don't know why he's calling out Base. Everyone should appeal this completely unjustified attack from Base. So Base accused a community of something, and it's locked these accounts for maybe a day or two, or I'm not sure exactly. What the hell? English, is this similar to what you're dealing with? What the fuck? And is that a server you were in? Yeah, okay, that's the message that English got too. Yeah, seems many are affected. He got that exact same message. And that was the server, English? Hang on, I'm gonna bring English up for a few. English, do you want to hop in the spaces? Is that easier? If you look at my X account, English, I got a spaces up right now. Yeah, you were in base. Okay. Is it the base
like
Discord?
The base Discord? Huh.
Yeah, hang on. Let me get English up. I'm glad it's only maybe for a day, but like...
And okay. Does it basically limit them? Yeah, I guess we can wait for English.
Yeah, he's going to come on the show here right now. Weird. Well, that's going to fuck up people's days a bit. A bit. If it's only a day, cool.
Yeah,
but
they can go touch grass, man.
Yeah. Hey, I get to learn some people's alt accounts here. That's cool. Okay, English will be up here in a second. Oh, man, English has got to stick around for the alien talk. I swear to God, dude, it's really good. It's really good. Everything I read, I'm like, oh, shit. Everything I read, I'm like, oh, we've heard little bits of that. This is something people have said before, and it's an older thread. When is this from, actually? Dude, it's so good. Like, smiling the whole time reading it. This is from 2023. Okay. Oh, dude, that's so cool because it's from over a year ago, but it's all stuff that's still like info's trickling out, and it's really long.
What's funny is like meeting somebody who's not an unbeliever, because I don't want to, like, we believe there could be aliens, right? But we're not like, oh, there are aliens. At least that's where I am. I'm like, oh, there absolutely could be. I can't tell you with certainty that it is that they 100% exist. But it's funny when you meet somebody that like is open to the idea that aliens exist. It's almost like meeting like a crypto bro in the wild.
Yep.
You're like,
oh, it's awesome. I don't know anybody who's into this shit. Maybe my buddy Anthony, who does our like shorts and stuff. I think he's into this stuff too. I swear, dude, I still want an alien show. There's
a guy that I've known, like where my store is, for almost since we moved here. He used to work with Nikki's dad. And then he used to do like our lawn care, and he owns a restaurant now. Super cool guy. Like he's like us, right? Just kind of like a normal dude. And he came up to the shop the other day, and he started talking about psychedelics, which obviously I'm not opposed to. And he was talking about his journey, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, man. Like, I'm happy to hear that that's something that's helped you. And somehow we got on the topic of aliens, and he's like, dude, he's like, I'm so happy to hear you say that. He's awesome. Like, you got to meet my friend. So I go over to his house and measure for some flooring, and this guy is there. This guy he wanted me to meet. This guy's like 65. He's like a mental health counselor, and we literally just talked psychedelics and aliens, and it was awesome.
That's
like normal conversation. And everybody was just happy that they met somebody that they thought was like a normal person that was not opposed to the idea of either one of those things.
Awesome. I love it. Here's somebody named Kate. I barely use Discord, like literally twice a month, rarely chat. But this is borderline insane. It should worry people who use it for crypto and in general. Okay, so there's a server. It's called like Okaki Connect. It's a Milady Deriv adjacent community. And maybe Base reported them for harassment or something, and anybody who used it kind of got here. Dude, what's up, English? Good to see you, man.
Yo, motherfucker. What's up?
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Did you
So
just learn that other people got fucked here too, or did you know that a little?
I just learned that. Yeah, I thought, well, so DB said that, like, so this is my morning. I'm in Puerto Rico. I wake up and there's no water, and I'm like, fuck my life. And then I'm like, let me grab some coffee, and I'm like trying to do some new collabs. And then, like, the Discord doesn't work. So I sign into my in Taproot Wizard, as DB had said, somebody else had that. And I'm like, well, maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. Like, you saw that screenshot. And I was like, I've never been in that server. And then it said base. So it just clicked to me that I'm in the base server. It seems like the base server was attacked. They changed the name to something else. And maybe, I don't know what, like they started saying like nigger fags, suck my cock. I don't know. Like it said something about harassment specifically. Like you're in a Discord server that has been banned for harassment. So I don't know.
So it was the base Discord, and they had like a little community or channel there.
See right here, read it. See, it broke Discord rules for harassment and bullying. The Discord itself.
Oh, weird. Okay. And you're in that server?
That's my point. I've never been in a server that has that this little symbol here. So obviously that's the base server.
Good Lord.
I don't know that this is true, but the only thing that makes sense, if I'm in base server, they're pinging base server, but we didn't get banned from base. We got banned from that server. Obviously, base got hacked and they changed the name, is what I'm thinking.
All right, I'm digging. Let's see. I imagine there's a whole bunch of tweets here now. What is Okaki? I've never even heard this before. This was caused by base, and let's see. Following that, their server got wiped. Everybody banned. Okay.
Base's server got wiped?
I think it's not them. I think it's whoever they were crying about.
Well, my point is it has to be a server that I'm in, that whoever else is in Twitter complaining about, and Antonio, who's a regular in Taproot Wizards, is in. So it has to be, and I'm only in NFT and ordinal places, right? And so if they're pinging base, it makes sense that most likely it's the base server. Like, I don't even know what this little sign is. I've never heard of Okaki. Like, pull up the screenshot. Like, I have literally that screenshot is exactly what I have. Yeah. And it says some weird server. It's like some little, symbol.
Yeah.
I'm not in that server. My guess would be that server was base.
Oh, that's crazy. I wonder if Discord got hacked or some shit.
Yeah, well, they said something with the mods. So unless they have really bad op specs where they have mods have access to like critical, things in Discord, no mod should have enough perms that it infiltrates stuff like that, right? So you have timeout. Yeah.
Do you think it's one mod who's manually going and doing that to people? Like, did you type in that Discord even?
I used it one time when I was having problems bridging, so I joined that Discord, and that's the only time. But my guess would be that somebody with perms got socially engineered.
Damn.
And they clicked something that compromised.
Did they wipe the server?
I have no idea. I have no access to. Let me pull up the base server.
That's wild. Yeah. Is your ban? Is it like those messages said? It's like a day. It's like a 24-hour or whatever.
Yeah, it's 24 hours. It gets reinstated. Thank God I'm not working in Sugartown today, because that would be really annoying.
Yeah. No shit. Oh, that's crazy, dude. These are the things that then start getting you thinking about the alternative platforms. After this, I don't think anybody's going to want to touch Farcaster. I think, but like, starts getting you thinking like, how the fuck do we all stay connected if like shit hits the fan?
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying for sure, but I think I think most people have redundancies, like how I got in contact with you and DB on X. But yeah, it makes it difficult for sure. I mean, here's the thing that, and I think people have been aware of this, but it's just such a heavy lift, is that Discord wasn't built for like NFT communities that have, or crypto communities that have like enough incentive to have these attack vectors, right? Like if you're just like a gaming guild, like who cares, right? Like you don't really gonna hack somebody and convince them to give them your like credit card for like a pack or something. That doesn't make sense. But now that there's crypto and there's links and you can get into people's wallets, you can compromise, you can get people to send, mint stuff or whatever. And so the actual infrastructure of Discord is not really built around having a secure thing. So what was like that rug project PXN that promised that they were going to make like a Discord rival? And so really we need something that has a lot of the similarities of WhatsApp or Discord or whatever, but is fundamentally designed from the ground up to be natively secure. Like we have to do all these workarounds to make it as secure as possible. But if it was natively made to be, I don't think Discord, when they were building out the Discord infrastructure, they were thinking of security as their primary concern. They were probably just thinking about organization, files, little things like that.
Yeah. They didn't think us retards would be flocking to that thing, shitting all over the place. But here we are. Wild. All right, we'll keep checking in on that, man. You want to stick around for alien chat?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, I swear to God, this stuff's awesome. Like fucking awesome. All right, you ready, Henry? You ready to have your day made?
Yo, born ready, sir.
Oh
born
man,
ready.
it's
By the way,
so
good morning, English.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. What we're looking at here, it's a screenshot. This is something that somebody basically archived it from 4chan from a year ago. Okay. The post is, I have intimate knowledge of what the U.S. currently knows about UFOs minus the last 2 years. UFOs are primarily unmanned drones, something we've been hearing about much more recently here. UFOs are built to spec each time they're deployed. That's why we see different versions of them here. UFOs are created by a mobile construction facility that hides in the ocean. Oh my God, yes.
Wait, we're talking UAPs though.
Yes,
not UFOs.
That's same. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Construction facility destroys anything that comes close to it and will disappear for days when approached aggressively. The U.S. believes the facility has been active on Earth for at least 100 years or much longer. Fire away on questions. I'll answer what I can. You won't be disappointed. I'll just say right off the bat, we very recently, I'm saying in the past like 2-ish weeks, learned that there's like a big fucking underwater thing that's bigger than not like an oil rig, but like those big like cities they build in the middle of the ocean, right? We've heard that those are in the ocean. They've seen one and it's as big as that and it moves exactly like those things in the sky, like that fast. We only learned that recently. This is a guy over a year and a half ago talking about a big underwater construction facility. So already sounding interesting.
And those rigs are mad, dude. Like massive.
Huge. Like a city block.
It's funny because I just heard that this past week and I assumed that info I just never had heard it and nobody cared. I didn't realize that was like relatively new info.
Yeah, I never heard it before the past week.
Since people have reported seeing these things dive into the water, come back out, hypersonic speeds. It makes a lot of sense. Like why, and dude, we know so little about the ocean, right? I mean, so much of it's uncharted. Wow.
No, it gets spicier, man.
Okay.
There's like pages and pages more. That's why I kind of believe it's legit, because the guy just answers everything in ways like none of it he says you think is unbelievable. It's all like, oh shit, we've heard about this. Is there a working theory on the origins? If so, can you elaborate? Okay, quite a bit. We think the construction facility has been around since at least 4,000 BC. See sightings painting from the early eras of history. Has any form of intelligible communication been established? Yes. It also depends on your viewpoint. They mostly want very little to do with us until we start to talk about war and nuclear options. It's one of the reasons you see them so often at critical events. I'll read through them. Stop me at any point when you think these are cool. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, because it cut out a little bit for me when you had said, has there been like communication with them?
He said yes.
Did you say yes?
He said yes. It depends on your viewpoint, though. Like what you consider communication. They mostly don't want anything to do with us, but when like war and nuclear stuff is when they get most responsive. Do they know who or what is creating these crafts? They is in the government. So yes, as mentioned earlier, the mobile construction unit is responsible for their deployment and construction. Any potential that they're made by a higher branch of the U.S. government? Absolutely not. What allows them to fly so fast? What technology? Gravity manipulation and the materials they are constructed from. We think the construction unit is driven by AI. The response time to threat is almost instant and usually very calculated and well thought out. The majority of UFOs, as I mentioned previously, are built to spec and purpose. It's why they're always different sizes. The contents and equipment usually mimics the intended purpose too. That's interesting too, because like we always hear the different sizes, the orbs, the diamond with the thing in the middle, the saucer shape. Like there's so many different ones, and it makes you think. That's where you start thinking maybe it's bullshit. You know what I mean? That people are just making up different stories. But if they're always built for different things, answers a little of that maybe. Is it related to, what is this? To the one under, hang on. Is this related to the one under rock in that one Scandinavian country? The one that deploys within, I'd never heard of this. The one that deploys within tectonic spaces. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I've never heard. He said, no, this one almost never leaves the Bermuda Triangle. I got to look into that. There's something in the Bermuda Triangle that apparently is a thing I never heard of. Yeah.
What the fuck is a tectonic space?
Maybe that's
like between fault lines, I'm assuming, like in a big, like kind of
like tectonic plates. Okay,
yeah. I think that's it, dude. I never heard of that. That's spicy.
Wow. That would be an interesting reasoning for why the Bermuda Triangle has like navigational issues.
That's a real thing.
Maybe there's some weird signal. I mean, supposedly.
Like that, you used to work on like plane. Like could you guys do? Did you have any rules about flying around there?
No, I have no and that was part of our area of operation and never had any issues. But what if that's where it operates out of? And what if when it's, I'm making this up, right? What if when it's launching craft, it starts distorting signals around the area?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking that out.
Yep. Okay. Somebody asked, understand the government. Not English.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that I don't know if I have a lag here. I think I do, but you're a big fan, or you listen to Joe Rogan from time to time, right? And he covers a lot of this stuff. Yeah. So there was someone that was there recently, and his stance was he doesn't believe in all of this stuff. And Joe Rogan started asking him questions like in terms of like the modern stuff, right? Like where the Air Force fighters are out there, in the whatever, in the high stratosphere, and they see all this stuff and all this whatever. His argument kind of made sense. His argument was like, we don't really have a lot of footage of this. What we have is like instrument data, right? So like it could just be easily manipulated instrument data. Like people will real time like the story that correlates and then it's corroborated with the instruments, but it's not necessarily like they're filming this and you have like, footage of this. You just have their story, they explain it, and then they have this instrument data. So like, I don't know if it could easily just be somebody manipulating this and it could be something else. I don't know.
I'm curious if he gets to that too, because you're exactly right. Like how much of it is real and how much is just somebody, like even a foreign government putting stuff on your radar to confuse you. Yeah.
But we do have like the videos of like the Tic Tacs and that. Yeah.
I think there's a lot.
Do we have them where they sync up with the data, like on the radars or whatever other instrument they're using on these planes?
I mean, they declassified all this. We're talking like official reports from the Pentagon. Do you know what I mean? Where like they don't say like, yeah, these are aliens. They're just like, yeah, these are the videos where they're UAPs.
Got it. I see.
What the fuck? This is totally random. I like Jane's Addiction a lot. Henry, do you like you too? But do you guys like Jane's Addiction? Remember that band?
I'm not a hardcore fan, but like I'll listen.
All right, they were like one of my favorites. Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro.
I was gonna say
fighting on stage.
The guy from I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is just yesterday.
From Pyro's guy, right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. I love them. Yeah. Oh shit, spicy.
What happened?
Don't know. It's just a 10-second clip of Perry Farrell like putting his hands on Dave Navarro. I guess they're touring right now.
My money'd be on Dave Navarro.
Oh my god, dude, that guy's jacked.
Yeah.
Jacked. All right, continuing on. Let me skip some of this. Do the UAPs return back to the manufacturing unit? Yes, some come in and leave the planet, but very rarely. Usually the same number that comes in goes out. Unless special circumstances arrive, it feels more like a carrier, but with construction capability. What are the purposes of the UAP? Surveillance of humans? This is where we start getting good, I think. The U.S. believes they're not here to harm us. They only seem interested in us once they realize we are destroying things around us, including each other. One of the officials in charge said something that stuck with me. They act like keepers of a zoo, uninterested in daily life of wildlife until there's a problem. I like that. I can approach the facility without being attacked, is the way somebody phrased the question. LOL, the last unit we saw approach the facility didn't even have time to communicate they were being attacked before it was over. That's freaky, man. Freaky. Let me skip and get some more. It's talking about materials in the craft. Some of the materials don't exist here. Are they friends? They cut their losses when crashes are recovered. Same with personnel. Zookeepers aren't friends with the animals. We hear that a lot too, that they're just they are yeah, they're not like, they don't care to talk to us. They're just like watching. Okay. Do you know if the entities behind the UFOs are native to the Earth, like an older civilization, breakaway civilization, or a civilization of humans that escaped the previous cycle of cataclysm due to advanced tech? Limited expertise, since my role is more craft analysis. U.S. believes they're foreign to our world. A previous cataclysm could make sense. They also show up in times of strife, such as natural events. I also think the other guy who's talking about approaching the area without being attacked is a remote viewer. Dude, the remote viewing shit keeps coming up too, and I get it. I also don't get it, but I know like our government does research with that. Like that's like you know, like not telepathy, but like eyes closed and kind of teleporting your essence other places
Stranger
and observing.
Things, dude.
Yeah, okay. His answer: I lurked on other boards, but I haven't really been to this one since I was comfortable with the answers I had. I wasn't aware that that was a thing on here. There are numerous among my coworkers that said they had a psionic abilities, but honestly, it rarely comes up in conversation. Give it a shot. I don't get it. He doesn't know. I think that was the point, and I read that like a retard. Have you tried sending in a raft of hippies? The AI might not recognize them as a threat. All right, this is cool. Based on previous disappearances and acts of hostility, we believe the construction facility has learned what is and isn't hostile. Usually, it just moves away or stays deep enough under the water. It doesn't fire on civilian boats, for example. Exceptions apply. We have seen one or two go missing, usually after sharp turns. Something about Antarctica. I don't think there's anything there. Oh, he does say something. Okay. My section monitored just this craft and any interactions with it. A previous coworker did mention something in passing of Antarctica at one point, but I ignored it. Talking about other projects is considered career suicide. This guy talks like somebody who knows this shit, by the way. He just does. Maybe easy enough to LARP, but he does sound like it. Okay. What other units have been lost approaching this construction machine? Why have they not sent a sea wolf? What's a sea wolf, Henry? Any idea?
Sorry, I'm losing you.
Oh, you're good. What's a sea wolf? You ever heard of that? Oh, we'll get him back. He's hitting his stretch. I have a feeling. Okay. Yeah. Why? What kind of?
Say that again. Sorry.
No, you're good. They're asking what kind of units we've sent to like investigate these things, and he asked if we've sent a sea wolf to investigate. Do you know what a sea wolf is?
Oh, yeah, it's a nuclear powered sub.
Okay. All right. His reply: we've sent everything or anything you can think of. At one point, nuclear missiles were being toyed with again, and we deployed fighters and a sub with serious intent. Everything except the sub was lost. How have they come to the conclusion that UAP being released are ET? If they don't know what the UAP are to begin with, or if there's nothing inside of them, that's a pretty big jump. Okay, that's a good question. They crash sometimes. Parts fail, and gravity engines near the surface of the planet can be like crossing an intersection. We recover these and sometimes find passengers. Ooh. We mostly see drones now. Back in the earlier days, we saw a lot more piloted craft. That's kind of cool.
Well, I don't know that whole like line. It might be just semantics, but the fact that how do we know it's extraterrestrial, and that's a big jump. Like it's a binary thing. It's either extraterrestrial or terrestrial. And so is it the bigger jump that they're natively here, or that they're out of here? Is the more logical thing that they've been here the whole time and we just can't perceive them with our senses, or they're just really good? Or I don't know. I don't know that that's like even just a logical statement. Like, how do we know that they're extraterrestrial? Like,
you know where that comes from? Because that got me really confused as people were talking about this. Like, it's because there's a whole line of thought that these are actually humans, but from the future. So it's like they're literally us from maybe thousands of years in the future, and we now have figured out time travel shit, which gets crazy.
I would even argue that's still extraterrestrial. Like time and space are linked, and if you're in a different time and you've come to this time, I would say that like that's probably like to me anything terrestrial would mean that in this time and in this place.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Maybe it's in philosophical semantics, but
if that was the case that they were us from the future, what do they need to observe? Because they would already know. They would already know all of this.
Yeah, I guess parts of it too, or maybe it's other dimensions, so Earth, but a different version of it. Definition of extraterrestrial: originating, existing, or occurring outside of the Earth or its atmosphere. So it's maybe it might just be a matter of the definition of it. But no, I'm with you. It's weird how they're being really careful with that term, though. Like, they're being really careful with what they call them. Like, they've said, like, when Grush and some of the other guys were speaking in front of Congress, they're very careful to not call it, like, aliens or whatever. Like, they're like, we don't know. We don't know.
Have you ever seen some of these, like, ancient caves that have, like, really elaborate etchings in them? I'm talking, like, I'm sure you've seen them, right? They're, like, they have no idea how they've been built thousands of years ago. Because like the type of precision that it would have taken to carve certain things that far below like the surface, like some of these are like inaccessible, where like you couldn't get in there with any type of even like primitive machinery.
Yeah.
Would explain a lot of that kind of stuff, wouldn't it?
Dude, it does. I think so, dude. And again, I go like. I can't lie. I get a lot of like the info today, like from Joe Rogan and his stuff, but he's got like people on talking about like the Younger Dryas theory and stuff, and talking about how civilization was wiped out 10,000 years ago and stuff. Like, could there have been like an older civilization from even before that, but that actually did evolve, and there's no trace of them anymore. But it is weird seeing stuff through history. Like we talk about the pyramids and shit. And I don't know what to believe. Like everything, like politics, like everything. Don't know what to believe anymore. But people say that shit. We couldn't build that today without crazy machinery and effort. And how did it happen back then? You know?
It's wild. Does this guy go on longer, or is
dude, it's so much longer. So much.
Keep going. I like it.
Oh, it's so much. Okay. Also, the last unit we saw approaching the facility didn't even have time to communicate they were being attacked before it was over. Any details on what happened? Okay, he says normal approach details, pilot responsive and actively talking. The feed cuts out, pilot still talking, then suddenly nothing. Poor guy. Maybe I'll skip that one. Stupid. Just whatever. I would love to hear about their weaponry. Let's see. Sharing a little story. Someone shares a little story about like some orbs. Let me skip that. Oh, are aliens humanoid? Are aliens human or humanoid? Answer: humanoid. Very humanoid. Which means look like humans, but also not like very. I would assume like alien looking, classic alien looking, something like that. Do you know anything about abductions, forced breeding programs? Bodies are removed before we're allowed to perform work. We definitely have seen some passing by. Hence changes in older proven methods by new management. That's referencing something we skipped. Real disclosure coming anytime soon. The Air Force is extremely frustrated with the lack of progress on their end. We felt similar, but we're not unable to share details with them. Let's see.
What agency was this guy with? Did he say?
That's a good point. Let me check. No. Nope.
Yeah.
Just says, intimate knowledge, and also said he hasn't been working on this in years. Do you think there's fewer piloted crafts because the population of the facility is declining? No, the common consensus is they're just being careful. I've heard recovery of living pilots usually don't go well for either of us. We suspect they piloted a lot of initial craft due to early complications. We also saw more crashes. Any bodies recovered showing ranges of ages we can recognize. I wonder if most of the inhabitants are either old or dead at this point, though younger bodies would disprove that. Okay, no idea about age, not my specialty. Previous higher-ups were getting better about being open with information. Okay, not helpful. What do passengers look like? Are they biological and or android? Answer's biological. Let's see. Wonder whether a meaningful distinction between scientific study and amusement still exists for them, if it ever did. Okay, the answer is this was before my time, but they talked about a bus UFO that had more occupants than hardware. Most of the intended purpose appears to be for physical viewing. I wonder if they ever just want to look at the animals. And let me see if there's anything else good. This is only like a third of the way through.
No, this is really good stuff, though.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Because it feels real to me.
That's like he's not saying crazy shit. He's just saying he's kind of like adding a little more details about the stuff we've been hearing about. What's this? Are there more than one construction facility? You mentioned one in the Bermuda Triangle. However, there's a lot of USOs off the west coast of America. I suspect there may be since we're only watching the Atlantic Ocean, and the UFOs we normally track don't stay far from home base. Asking about it would have been a bad move. What else? I read somewhere that UFO navigation systems require an ET whose own personal wavelength has been specifically attuned for the neural network of the craft. This tracks somewhat for me. When we look at the craft, we usually have to force certain things to work. Two teams come behind mine, so that could be dedicated to understanding of the craft. Interesting. So, like, as they build these crafts, they're also designed to whoever's piloting it, and that kind of matters. Interesting. Can you tell us what they look like physically? Usually gray type or big ears? Oh, he says, imagine the typical grays you see on TV. I've seen two corpses, so maybe there are different species, but I've never laid eyes on another. Okay. Anything's about their culture, name. Rumors only. They almost never want anything to do with us. Mentions of destruction or warfare apparently change their attitude pretty quickly. Dude, I wonder if the alien shit we've looked at for many, many years is like really them, you know? Like those old big-eyed, gray, big head things. What else? I'm trying to skim for anything spicy here. Do you believe we're under their control in some way or were sometime in history? Possibly. I've no way of knowing. The higher-ups I work for seem hell-bent on discovering more about them. Usually not a quality found among controlled beings. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, okay. What were the main reasons for the crashes? I'd think random lightning or freak accident, seeing how advanced they are. All right, you'd be surprised how many mistakes they make, especially further back you look. One area they seem to avoid like the plague, we suspect, is due to issues with gravity and flight. Before they figured out, we collected quite a few mishaps there. What is he talking about? I don't know where he's talking about. They had mishaps before. They've tried to shoot some down, mostly over nuclear incidences, but failed. All right, so they fuck up too. They're not perfect. They do crash their ships. We have shot those things down, and they avoid places that we can fuck with their gravity, propulsion, or whatever. Do you see written symbols in the craft? Yes, usually marked by doorways and key objects. Written language appears frequently on tools and critical items.
Can you imagine if you worked in that field? Your mind would be blown,
dude. It'd be so freaking fun. Scary as shit. Like,
yeah. Like what do you do? Like, what do you do after that? Like, after you work there, you retire. This guy's out. Like, what do? You just go like take a desk job somewhere and pretend like
you couldn't look at life the same, right? Like you just couldn't.
Yeah. Everything changes.
Yeah, dude, wild. What's the scariest experience while engaging with a phenomenon? Doors closing on us, as mentioned above, made me wish I had brown pants. Still fascinated with the lab we found. It was damaged by accident, and I never got much time with it. Are you aware of any foreign alien tech that was successfully reverse engineered? Yes. We used to laugh at Russian and Chinese designs. We stopped laughing at China when they produced an operational, but still buggy version of their mining equipment. Still stumps most of our engineers. China also lies at its ass, but what we saw, we deemed it operational and working. Countries listed above, it's China and Russia, have flight-capable craft. It's just not very good. I'm honestly surprised no one is asked about the energy sources or internals. He's talking to like the forum, I guess. How do UFOs travel? In the context of those Tic Tac reports, Bob Lazar's report, they seem to jump through space-time and light and appear in a new location. Oh, this is the question still. This is common when moving at high speed from a standstill or slow speed initially. Gravity distorts time, and the objects inside the field can stagger when traveling. And I want to get to some good spicy stuff. Oh, okay. Asking, how are you able to talk about this? Didn't you swear to secrecy? And replies, yes, liver cancer sucks. Makes sense. Somebody who's on his way out, like, who gives a fuck? Just put it out there anonymously like this. Wouldn't the government already have their eye on you, considering you could turn out to be a loose end? I'm not going on national TV or radio. I'm on a 4chan board. I'm sure they look at stuff like this, but cancer makes you feel different. Also, did you or your coworkers experience strange things? Nothing there. The spheres are a type of unmanned surveillance drone. Okay. Shaped like a hammer, but when activated, yes, they appear like a sphere due to intense light. They see light differently, and looking into the sun for them isn't an issue like it is for us. I can't speak for the psionic abilities, if any, since I've only heard rumors in passing. We believe the lack of communication was inherent to their personal beliefs about us. As mentioned previously, but active, serious discussions about destruction get them going. I'm stuck on that. Why would they give a shit?
Dude, same. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah. All right. What materials?
Maybe it's like an outpost that like nobody wants to be stationed at, but maybe they're all over the universe, and these it's like, we got to watch these apes for, and maybe time is different to them.
Yeah.
Like maybe watching us for 1,000 years.
What material are UFOs made of? The answer gets complicated quickly. Short answer, it's an alloy we can't reproduce, but only repurpose. The alloy is kind of like film that that fits over the frame of the craft. I mentioned they were built to spec. That's exactly what I mean. The shape is always efficiently designed. The actual frame, it's heavier and composed of more elements. Both of these alloys have a lot of elements we can't reproduce. One of the main problems when repurposing these alloys is getting them hot enough. They absorb heat very well, and shaping the metal is a tedious process. That speaks to like kind of speaks like people have said, okay, we've seen the tech, we know it's not ours because it's tech we understand, but we don't have the tech to be able to reproduce it and work with it for like hundreds of years still. So it's like they see it, they get it, but they're like, we get it, but we know we can't do it. We know, and we're not anywhere close to being able to make this kind of thing. Can you walk through the process?
There was a report, I want to say, I don't remember who brought it out, but a couple years back where they said, one of the materials that they possessed was almost like, I don't want to call it aluminum foil, like a thin metal that could wrinkle up, but then could go perfectly back to form without any sort of, like aluminum foil. If you wrinkle it up and then you flatten it out, you still have all like the creases, right, from where you wrinkled it. They were saying like you could wrinkle this up, this thin like metal, and then it could go back to perfect form. So that kind of sounds like in line with what this guy's saying, where it's like a thin alloy that goes over the frame.
Yep. This is getting close to the end, actually. I'm surprised, but dude, it's good shit. Okay. Can you walk through the process of identifying the contents of a crashed UFO? All right. So first team leaves with details. First team leaves that deals with occupants and initial discovery. We arrive and meet with an external member of the team who can touch and examine parts that we're not allowed to interact with. We never have to cut our way into the UFO. We enter the first order of business. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I can't fucking read this morning. We enter the first order of business is checking for E115. Is that a military term?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Maybe life or something. I don't know. Then leaving the ship together to send it away. We return and look for any tools and loose objects that can be extracted. We then start to strip any specialized components on board, such as sensory equipment or navigation. We leave, and a third and fourth team arrive, likely to remove the bulk of the craft. Tell me about the mobile construction facility. Shaped like an extremely large UFO, but one mentioned more of a burger design, almost never leaves the Atlantic Ocean. In fact, will sit through hurricanes and only move elsewhere to release or receive a UFO. No visible weapons or cockpit. It also doesn't use any lights. Any other things making UFOs? Yes, UFOs arrive and depart Earth, but very infrequently. These UFOs are usually large. The U.S. has been itching to get its hands on a freighter UFO when inbound or outbound, but the chance has never presented itself. Leadership openly stated securing one would result in a promotion. That sounds weird. What else?
It does sound weird.
Yeah.
Get us a UFO and you're going to be, you get that next rank, son.
Oh my God, there's so much more. I thought it was the end, and there's 21 more fucking images of this thing, I think. Oh, unless it's screenshots of the chat that they put in a text. Let me see. No, I think there's that much more. Dude, the fact that somebody could go and reply to all this stuff makes me think it's real, you know? Like, it's so much. All right, hang on. Let's keep going. Oh, it just skipped ahead and landed on this. E11.5. Okay. Element E11.5 provides the weak gravity field and the engine amplify the phenomenon through resonance. I'm reading like a retard because it's all worded like broken English. Okay. The gravity field remains the same for E11.5, but the output from the engine produces almost all the gravity used for travel. Okay. All right. So it's some material that they're always looking for. How does the government prevent or respond to potential national security threats posed by UFOs? They wait for crashes. The only time everyone is all hands on deck is if they screw with nukes. We mostly just watch and wait for them to fuck up. This looks cool. Anyway, why do you think cloaking tech isn't deployed by UAPs? It shouldn't be that difficult to bend light. Fuck, I wish I could show you one of the images from our training. Sometimes we get lucky and find very odd variants of UFOs. Same setup as usual, but with interesting additions. Oh, so maybe they do cloak. Some of them do. English, do you buy this shit? Like, is this your jam?
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan stuff on it. Like, I don't know that I would get into like a rabbit hole and start reading like all these stuff, but when they have like pretty like sound people like that have sound reasoning and like a decent background and somewhat credible, you know, I think it's interesting conversation. So like I usually on the weekends, it's the only time I really catch up with Joe Rogan, and if I go running or walking or whatever, I kind of look forward to the conspiracy things of the aliens. I think more recently though, because as you were saying earlier in the show, like we do, or Henry was saying, like we have government reports, you know, corroborated by like people. So I just think it's a little bit more substantial now. Like before, like it wasn't too intriguing to me that some like lady in Idaho got beamed up when she was like milking her cow. Like I don't know, that just wasn't that intellectually, you know, stimulating. But now that we see stuff and there's likely something out there, right? Like that's, I don't think that's really like debatable at this point, you know, obviously to some extent, but I think it's pretty much people kind of have already accepted that there's something going on there. We're trying to figure out what it is. And so, yeah, I think it's dope.
What do you make of this guy? Do you think his shit's believable? The guy that's answering these questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm not really familiar with this format. Is this some like so-called expert and then people post and he responds, or?
Yeah, it's like typical 4chan stuff. There's like, it's full of LARPers, but that like people will just go on there and say, sometimes they'll even put a little picture of like an agency logo. Like there's a lot of people who kind of claim to be whistleblowers or insiders. And this is the thing. They'll literally say, I do this. I'm not telling you who I am and exactly who I work for, but they'll drop something that gives them a little credibility. And they'll say, I'm going to sit here for the next hour answering questions. And then people just fire it off and they reply to shit. And that's exactly what this looks and feels like. And like nothing here screams LARPer at all. Like nothing here feels like a LARP.
Yeah, for me, it's entertainment. For me, I like to listen to like the story and people go back and forth. Like for me, it's not like a hobby that I would start researching this and see what crazy shit I could find. You know, if someone goes on a podcast or there's a cool documentary, I do think it's interesting. But this whole rabbit hole of 4chan, whatever we're looking at, and I think I think I don't know. It seems to be a little bit unhealthy. Like if you get into like this is like your main obsession and you're spending like two like I've done a lot of unhealthy shit in my life, like obsessions with drugs, you know, addictions, Magic the Gathering when I was in like middle school. Like I played way too much. Like there's like things. And now I have an unhealthy like NFT Web3 addiction. But at least I can make money, sometimes lose money, but at least theoretically make money. So like
Yep.
in some weird way, like I channel this. So I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's that appealing specifically. And even then, I just don't know that spend healthy.
Yep. No, dude,
But
you're
it's
right.
fun for this. It's fun for this show, you know. And
It, that's the best thing. If people go down these rabbit holes, go in just thinking entertainment, and like there's things you can learn. It's like exercising your brain. Like when I first got into this stuff, was in 4chan. You can get
yeah,
really deep and really caught up in it, and it really can be bad for your brain. Like it's, you know, I don't even remember how long ago at this point, probably 8-ish, 10 years ago, where it made me just think about things and open my eyes and realize how much fuckery there is. And everybody's going to go through that at some point in their life, where they get black pilled or red pilled or a combination of it. And they realize, oh, nothing is what we're told, and it seems. And you full throttle into everything here. Everything is a conspiracy. Everything is fake. It's all bullshit. And then over time, you pull back and you're like, okay, I get it. Some of that's entertainment. A lot of it's fake, but it does teach you to be very critical about everything. And but it's a good point, English. This shit here, not just aliens, but everything on that platform, all the it can be very dangerous. You can get very easily caught up in it all. I get myself PTSD from watching just unrelenting like fucking gore videos. It's all I looked at for probably years. And it fucked me.
What's interesting about it though, in all of that, like I agree with all of it. Is if you just look back like over the years, like over the decades, and obviously we don't really know, you know, we don't have firsthand knowledge of the 30, 40, 50 years ago when people were talking about aliens. We just hear the stories, and as kids, to English's point, you'd hear about the lady in Idaho who got abducted while she was milking her cow, right? But then, like, as technology got better on our end and people became more connected, more and more stories came out. You have like the Bob Lazars that talked about what they experienced out at like Area 51. You have more and more like whistleblower type people coming out saying things. Then you start getting images. Then you start getting the Pentagon to declassify things that they just couldn't really keep tight anymore. And so like all of these things just start to really paint a picture where it's like, okay, this thing that used to be your fucking whack job if you believe it is now like, nah, like there are intelligent people. We have no idea who this guy is, so can't really necessarily throw him into the same category. But the things he's saying don't sound outlandish, because we've had other people who have brought up similar stories that seem credible. We have, you know, Navy, Air Force pilots talking about the things that they've seen. We have footage of them that we've been able to see. So what's cool about it is like maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, this is just like exponentially going to take off. Because look what it's done in the last 5 to 10 years. Look how much more we might know now than what we did 20 years ago. So I just think it's like, yeah, we have no idea who this guy is, and he could be a total LARPer, but like listening to it, I'm like, this sounds like it doesn't sound crazy.
There's
none of it sounds crazy.
No. There was an interesting part somewhere in here. We didn't read it, but I was reading it. Somebody was asking him like, why don't we release this stuff, and why is it so secret? And his point to that was like, it's not. It's basically all out there. It's like they tried hiding it, they couldn't really hide it. What if we actually know most of what there is out there at this point? And you just said at this point they just try to make it confusing for you. And maybe they're not going to release details about the tech, very specific details, but as far as what it is, maybe we know at this point as much as there really is out there, or almost as much. So worth considering. I did find, by the way, a couple other cool points here. Is this factory craft is on duty as fire watch of sorts? The U.S. believes this is the case, that or it's preparation for something more. What is fire watch? Like watching for fighting kind of shit? I think that's it. I think that's what that means. What form of language do they?
Fire. Read the question again.
It just asked, are they like, what are they waiting for? Some kind of fire watch? And is that just they're watching for conflict or something?
Yeah, like guard duty.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Do they have portable weapons like phasers or ray guns? It says they do have weapons. I've never seen one held, and suspect the first team always took them away. Looking at the abduction tools and the general capability of the construction facility, I wouldn't want to face off against one. I'm gonna hit one more point. I think you probably got a boogie here, Henry, right?
I'm gonna pump some gas in them. Yeah, I'll be leaving shortly.
Okay. What form of language did they use? I mentioned that in the previous thread. I asked for images from another Anon. It looks similar. Oh, okay. He doesn't really answer that. Are they carbon-based life forms like us? Not my area, but from what I could see and tell, yes. Do you think there's a chance we're their creation experiment? He says we both look very similar. It wouldn't surprise me, and I'm inclined to think so. That's interesting. I like that.
That's really interesting.
You know, there's always that part, and it gets to the religious stuff, but where the government knows and they just think it would fuck with us too much if we knew. If we really, really knew. And again, it gets to like the higher ups in the government are super religious and they think it's all related to Jesus and demons, aliens.
How weird would that be? How weird would that be if that was like, yeah, if we were Jesus? Never even thought of that.
Yeah, like if they
made us.
Yeah, and if they made him, and there's a story, it's crazy stuff. And the flip side is, if it's not that, but it's just that they engineered society anyway. Like maybe it's all part of the same thing. I don't buy any of the stories though. I don't buy anything. Not this. I buy this more than anything else we've been fed. I kind of do. So, there's a lot more good shit here. We can probably call it at this point though. But let me see how much longer it is, by the way, because I'll send you the link so you can dig into. It's great, dude.
I mean, I really like that.
It's one of the best we've had, right? Like this is one of the best info dumps.
Yeah, it's coherent. Like it's a nice story, even if it is just for entertainment value. Like it's fun to grasp onto it and hope. I want it to be real. Yeah. I do.
Do the aliens
so much less fulfilling without, supernatural or extraterrestrial or I don't know. Otherwise, dude, if none of that shit is real, what the fuck are we even doing?
Yeah. It's yeah. I have so much trouble thinking it's not. It's just to that point, the belief that we're just things floating around on a rock in space it's just infinite. Just I don't know, man. I just can't ever believe that there's nothing much bigger going on,
Let me ask you this, kind of related but unrelated. Elon thinks that we're in a simulation. I wonder how that could tie into any of this kind of stuff.
Wait, what Elon would like going to Mars and shit?
Like, no, just like Elon Musk thinks like we're living in a simulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, does he ever comment on things like aliens? And would they just be part of the simulation, or does he think? Yeah, I don't know what his views are on that.
He said he's never seen any evidence that aliens are real. Like he's never seen them. He's like not really an alien believer.
Yeah, fuck Elon.
Which is weird. Which is super weird, right?
I hate him now.
I'm double checking, but I'm pretty sure Elon said Elon Musk. I've seen no evidence of aliens, and you would think a guy like that's probably seen, if there was stuff that he's seen it, right? You would think.
He had like some quote that I saw recently on the timeline. Like if aliens exist, they're awfully something like quiet, discreet, something like of that. So I think that's right. I think he's like, no, bro.
Yeah, not a believer. He's not our guy. Damn shame.
At least he tried.
Yeah, for real. Fuck it. Let's call it there. Weird show. Really weird ass show today. No NFT shit, which is nice. English. Hey,
was my reception decent?
It was better than the video because we didn't get the cutout shit really, so it was better.
Okay.
English, you got thoughts on
12? I was thinking about
13 mil.
Oh, 13. That's pretty decent. I caught it at 4. I did an ape, and then of course woke up to it at 20, and then I was like, if it hits 10, maybe or under 10. But is there FUD going around? Because I heard some spaces with chart foo on it, and people were complaining, but people are always fucking complaining about everything.
Wait. English. People were complaining?
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but you know, price goes up, price goes down, and then all of a sudden, you know,
Oh
people
my
are
God.
unhappy. Yeah, believe it or not, I know that this is really out there, but they were even calling Chart Fu a rugger scammer.
Did they
Because
really?
Yeah, I think so. Somebody was
Shut up.
100%.
Yeah. Well, he clearly is. If it's not worth more than what they paid, then yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're a scammer, right? Yeah. It's exactly right. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna buy more. I'm probably gonna buy more. Even at the market cap it's at, I just got a feeling kook pumping, chart fu pumping. His point here, break point coming. Yeah.
I might. I might. What I throw at it yesterday? Did I say 3 or 5?
Yeah.
I think I put.
Yeah, so DB Rizzle, he just commented here. So that's what I caught. I caught the tail end of that before Chart Fu left. And Golden is notorious for thinking that he's the smartest guy in crypto, and he's fucking annoying a little bit. But I like him. Like, he's not like a bad person, but he just has like this arc. And like, he was even like fighting like Taproot Wizards. That Taproot Wizards is a derivative, and they're intellectually dishonest, and that they should give money to Maven's bot. Like, the whole collection was made before Maven's bot even thought to do it to ordinals. He made his own ordinals. We did spaces together. I'm explaining this to them, and the whole thing was that I was like, they gave 100 Taproot Wizards to the Maven's bot community. That's like crazy amount of value right there. Did spaces together. Like, Maven's bot was like, thank you for bringing attention to this. Like, he was very, very happy. And he's like, well, that's not good enough. I'm like, well, like, the value proposition for Taproot Wizards as an asset holder is not because they had this amazing art that Taproot Wizards used as inspiration. It's because of the Taproot Wizard team and like whatever ecosystem that they're building out. So like, I don't know what more that you want. He's like, oh, you should give 50% to the artist. Like, it's just like a weird take. Like, if it's like you just made an art collection and you didn't give part, like, it's not really an art collection, right? It's a meme collection that they used a Bitcoin native thing. Anyways, that's beside the point. But I want to hear more if DB, if you want to post in the comments here. But yeah, so this guy Golden, he's a pudgy guy, but like, I don't know. He's like one of those dudes that always is like pointing out how smart he is and how like this is a scam, but you don't see it, or like how I'm a good trader and you're not, but like I'm like begrudging to be in the space, but yet like I still hang out in Twitter and I hate spaces, but yet you hear him on spaces. Like, this is this guy, right? And so I don't know. Like, I don't really know Chart Fu that well. I've had some interactions with him. I know he's a degen. I know he likes to have fun. He likes to like shit post. And the motherfucker came out with a coin. And like, I would think if there's one thing you can't FUD is a meme coin, because everybody knows, yeah, he tries to be a Web3 vigilante. Yeah, that's right. And so like, I don't know what the argument was about, but GM, what are we FUDing? But yeah, I don't know. So like, the whole thing was, it's like, you come out with like a meme coin, right? Like, I don't know if it was Pump.Fun, probably. And like, what more do you want? Like, I'm not promising anything. Like, I don't know how you're a scammer at that point. But apparently he was calling him a scammer, and everybody who was in that space listening, either an idiot or an insider to this, because they were supporting Chart Fu. So yeah.
What's his handle? Do you know?
Who, Chart Fu or Golden?
No, the Golden dude.
Man, let me see. I can pull it up on here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hate talking bad about people, but like, my patience has been fucking short with like these sideline, actors that think that they know everything, dude, and like are criticizing the people that actually work in the space.
No, it's easy. It's one of the easiest positions to take, right? It's Monday morning quarterbacks, all of them.
It's Golden suspended is the account. I guess he got banned at one time and he made a new account. But yeah, he rocks a pudgy with a milady like niqab type thing on it. And yeah, I don't know. He's weird because he talks very much like a lawyer. So like, he has like this really like strong, like Anglo, like white, like stiff kind of like vibe, which there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a weird dichotomy with him because he's always like posting about hip hop and like sneakers and like how he understands hip hop culture, but nobody else on crypto Twitter does. He's just a weird dude.
We got some characters here.
Yeah, look, even Rocky like Golden is a jackass. I can't stand listening. So look, Rocky is like the #1 Spaces fan, and he's like, yeah, dude, this guy is fucking. So okay, it's not just me. Like I don't know. I'm really hesitant to like talk shit about anybody, but I don't know, man. My patience is up, dude. My patience is up with all the fucking fudders, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been that kind of week, or
It's
that
been
kind
a
of
crazy week. It's been a crazy fucking week, man. Yeah.
Bull market
Yeah.
fixes everything. So
Bull market fixes everything. That's correct. All of a sudden, like even look, so like we'll just talk about what we're talking about. Like decentralized was one of them. If nothing changed about decentralized, but all the other runes were going up, nobody would care because they'd be like down 50%, 80% on there, but they'd be up like 500% on dog. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, well, they just did that. Like that kind of sucks. And then nobody fuds. But then when everybody's bags down, like across the board, then you got to find someone to blame that's not yourself.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I think it's fair. Like I've said this with decentralized. I think it is absolutely fair to take some shots at the team. Like I think that's okay. I think like I've said it. I think there was communications that weren't amazing. Like I think there's a lot that could have been done differently. But I think a lot of it comes down to like intent. And as I said, like we're Kongs, like we can't help but fuck with something because like we like trying to build shit. Like that's what we like trying to do. And the thing is, you take some chances when you do that.
But that's the difference. I'm not talking about people criticizing a team on execution or a critical decision as like making decentralized go decentralized. It's saying that the intent behind it, and now you're this type of person because
Yes.
I can deduce your intent behind this, and your intent wasn't. It was either malicious or it wasn't. But now it wasn't with good intentions, and now you are a rugger,
Yes.
scammer, and now that's your archetype in this space. Like you who don't know me, you have some like whatever they call relationship with me, and then now you can discern this, and then you have this platform to talk about it, and people who don't really know much about that person, myself, you, or whatever, they just kind of see this and it's like, oh yeah, like maybe he is, like I didn't really think so, but like yeah, this seems logical, and it's like fuck you, dude.
Yep. No, I'm with you, bro. That out of all of the FUD we've ever had in Kongs, which you're just going to get from time to time for any decisions you make or downturns in the market. Funny that it doesn't happen during the bull, but of course, when bags are down, you get it. Never experienced anything quite like it, and yeah, bro, not gonna lie, like a lot of what we try to do, like just try to be like a good person in Web3. And so like to know that that's what you're trying to do, and then you have all that kind of hate of exactly what you said. Oh, you're a rugger, you're a scammer, and people don't. Yeah, there's some people who may not even know, like, nah, that's not really the full story here at all. Yeah, it sucks. It made me think of like people who are actually like public figures, and they just deal with this all the time, right? Whether you're a celebrity or you're an actual whether you're in politics or whatever the case may be, they just must, like, their skin just must be so thick where they just do not give a fuck at all. Because I don't think you could have a career where that's what you deal with all the time and be okay with it, unless you just literally were like, I just don't fucking care.
To some degree, that I think that separates some of the top fucking tier stuff. It's they do not fucking care. It doesn't phase them. It's just full steam ahead, and just the way you handle that pressure, because it's so easy to have that affect even the work, like what you do. It takes a different.
A couple thoughts on that is just like I think like to Henry's point rather. Like when your main modus operandi is to like move with like integrity, and like that's like the first thing you go to, so it just hurts a little bit extra when you do get called that. I think the second component is that like I think we're natively on X and Discord or whatever, like that's where we interact. And so I think if you're that's not your normal place, like you just have social media accounts and you happen to be, I don't know, a comedian, a politician or whatever, you just log off, right? And then you go about your day and do everything. But when your work, like it is kind of like almost like you can't separate the internet from your work, because that's where you work. You work on X, you work on Discord. And so I don't know, it's just a little bit demoralizing. But sometimes I try to think that it's just the internet, like don't take anything fucking serious. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, enough venting, but yeah.
World War III is coming really soon, really fucking soon. It's really getting close.
Yeah,
which is
no,
exciting.
dude. I was gonna say it's only the 73rd time this year it's trended on X, so
It's crazy.
it's got to be getting closer.
Yeah,
It's so stupid.
we're about to let Ukraine use our missiles inside of Russia. Which,
Okay, question. So Putin said that if NATO missiles come into Russia, like long range missiles, like that's an attack by NATO. Is it official, like that they're going to use NATO provide missiles, or are people like, no, we're not going to let you use those because we don't want to instigate?
No, I think what happened is it was always a no, and it sounds like now there's just been the reports are that we're about to say yes, that NATO's about to officially say yes, go ahead, and then that's why the Russian counterpoints come in here all of a sudden. I think they're about to say, yeah, let them fly before the election. Like something, it just feels like something's in the works. You know what I mean? Like tinfoil hat shit. But just the timing's nuts. Timing is just always super fucking interesting.
Any thoughts on that?
Buckle up. Yeah, I don't know. I fucking hate it all. Hate it all, man.
Yeah.
Kamala did an interview.
Is it weird? Oh no, go ahead.
This is random. I'm just spitting out random shit. But Kamala did like a 10-minute interview a day ago or so. Awful. Fucking awful. Just unfucking believable. You should watch it if you get a chance today, if you didn't see already. World War III. What was the deal?
I was just gonna say, like, I just don't know who I think is the good or the bad guy anymore in some of these conflicts. Like, I just don't know. I used to, like, when the Ukraine war started, I'm like, yeah, no, Russia's a fucking terror, like pro-Ukraine. I just don't know that I know anymore who's right and who's wrong, because who knows what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Dude, for real. Like, I believe nothing. That's where I stand. I don't know. How can you give a shit if you don't believe anything? So, and I don't. All right, let's call it there. Let's call it there.
Yeah. Yep.
There we go.
All right, guys.
Have a great day. Henry English, you guys are awesome. You guys have a great morning. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:15 a.m. Eastern time. I'll fucking see you.